Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Friday, which means two things. First of all, tonight at 6 o'clock on the channel, it's the latest 60-minute map fix, where I take a random map off of the workshop and have 60 minutes of real time to make it just a little bit better. So make sure you join me for that one. Also Fridays is the day that I hand over the reins to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, where they vote me in a map to review, and today's map is this one. It's a creator request map, so thank you very much to the creator for putting this one up for review. It's not very flat, in fact it's a hilly map, and if you like hilly maps, now is a very good time to show your approval. Off you go then. That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thank you for your support. Today's map is Athacana Hills by Hallegbg. I'm going Hallegbg, but if it's wrong, it's wrong. There's your start square. Love the beaches on this map, possibly excepting the one in the start square, but we'll get to that later. Your terrain heights show that we are looking at quite a hilly map indeed. And then if we have a look at the resources, they are bold and strong. Lots of oil underneath that water, and basically everywhere you go there's a resource. Good work with that. Off to the workshop. It's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Other than that, nothing. 100% vanilla. We'll be using the vanilla tropical theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT, but I'm sure you guessed that second bit already in advance on your own. Now, highways. 3-lane highway coming up to the vanilla wishbone. Now, these are never pretty intersections, but they do the job, and they do the job. That's all I can say, really, that they do the job. They do the job. Okay, then we've got the 2-lane mass transit highways. So, yes, if you don't have mass transit, this bit of highway won't be there. In fact, most of the map will be pretty much dead if you don't have mass transit. Why haven't you got mass transit? Huh? Why would you not have, of all the DLC? That's probably, actually, let's start a discussion in the comments down below. Which is the essential DLC? I'm going to argue mass transit is the essential one. I can understand every single bit of DLC definitely has its individual quirks, and if you want to do something like work with industries, well, there's the industries DLC and so forth. But yes, if there's one bit of essential DLC, I would say definitely mass transit. My call, my shout. Argue against me in the comments. I'll be happy to tell you that you're wrong in the comments. Anyways, yes, the vanilla cloverleaf intersection. Guess what? It does the job. Anyway, this one takes us off to the fog in 2 different directions, which is fine. It is absolutely fine. Right, we'll go back down to ground level. Now, it's a hilly map, and if you have a look at the hills, they're a little bit on the rugged side, and I don't mind that so much. Sometimes you say, oh, we should really smooth these ones out. Road under rail, and we'll have a look at this rail bridge a bit later on. I quite like that rail bridge, actually. But yes, for me, anything but a vanilla theme, this would look a lot better, those hills, with the ruggedness of them. Something like the not so rocky hills with the cliff textures, that would really bring that out. As it happens with the vanilla theme, it just looks unfinished. It looks, I'm sorry, it's kind of an ugly vibe to the side of these hills with all that like tropical mud. Yeah, it's just not pretty. So anyway, yes, I'd like to see a bit of smoothing on those hills or a different theme. So we've got here is another plopped wishbone. And again, if we head off that way, that's going to take us off to the fog. Yeah, I believe so. If we go this way, though, this will take us down towards the start square. Got a little bit of terrain glitching going on where the roads come back down to ground. Again, a little bit of polishing there just to tidy those up would look a lot better. 3 lanes down to 2, so we're using these as merge lanes, and that's fine. That's quite sweet and twee. And as we come through this valley here, and these are deep valleys, we're entering start square territory now. Plenty of build space in the start square. There's plenty of build space across the map. It doesn't look like there is, but there actually you can build a half decent set of decent sized cities on this particular map. One thing you will find on the map, however, are a few stray trees. Haven't seen this for a while, and I got concerned that I'd switch my settings, but I've gone and had a look at my settings, and my settings are exactly the same as they have been. So yes, a few vanilla trees encroaching onto the highway there. And if we pull back here, we'll get a little bit of a glance at the start square, and in the start square we've always got a little treat. And today's little treat is ATE, and I regret to say I forgot to Google this name. So by somebody from Russia, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try, because whatever I say is going to be wrong. It looks a bit like bye-bye help, but I know that's completely wrong. I'm not even, no. I apologise to the creator. Factoids, because factoids. On this day, January 24th, in 1712, Frederick the Great, King of Prussia, was born. He became a great military commander, as well as being something of an eccentric. For example, he often had his coffee made with champagne instead of water. Frederick the Great, born on this day, 24th of January, 1712. Funnily enough, I'm playing as him in Civilization 6 at the moment. Sadly though, not recording it. Wish I was. Anyway, ATE, lovely little block of flats there, and highly recommend the creator change the name English. Changing their name to English. No, I'm just kidding. You stick with your name, my friend. You stick with your name. Anyway, we've got some more encroaching forestry here, which that's basically as bad as it gets. It's weird. The entire map and the only two bits of encroaching forest are in the start square. Bridge, extensive, fine. That's fine for what it is out here in the fog. It connects the land with the edge of the map. That'll do. Rail. Now, it's a hilly map, which you know that making a realistic rail connection across the hills is always... Oh, hello. We've got a ship coming. This doesn't look healthy. Hang on, we'll just keep an eye on it. It's out in the fog. It doesn't matter too much out in the fog, but that, for me, is definitely shipping clipping. Definitely shipping clipping. Okay, so yeah, back to the rail. It's a hilly map, which means either we're going to have exceptionally brilliant rail or exceptionally roller coaster rail. And already it looks like we have the roller coaster going on. Now, it is difficult to build rail across the hills, and that's something to be considered. Only the very top creators will do a sterling job of this. And Hallegbg, I'm going to say, isn't quite in the same league. In the league. He's not in the league. Oh, no. Not in the same league as a Zosso or a Sidai. And I'm, again, always could spend half an hour reeling off the very top map creators. Past this start square beach, which we'll come back and look at in a minute. Then there's everybody's favourite factory right there. And then up and down again. Do you know what? In a minute, I think we'll go down to the actual ground level and see if we can take a ride on a train or something, just to get a feel for this, because it is quite uppy downy. There's a train there. Ooh, might jump on that in a minute. Anyway, that then goes across the bay, gaining elevation all the time to go up onto this hill where it's gonna... I think that's worth a little train ride. Let's see what it actually looks like from the point of view of a train. We often see these things and go, well, it looks like a roller coaster. Well, it does look a bit like a roller coaster. So let's have a little ride and see what it's like in first person perspective. I think we've done this on a train before in the show. Episode 807 trillion or whatever we're up to now. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've just eaten. Well, I did just eat. I think I'll be eating again in a minute. Oh, hang on. Ooh. Right, okay, so now down here, you might have just noticed something there at that junction. Let's have a little look at that junction, shall we? So let's pull back into first person camera view. A little bit of terrain glitching along the side of the rail there. But this junction is problematic, and it actually was quite problematic for me trying to fix it. You may notice we've got a little bit of exposed rail going on there. That doesn't look very safe, does it? And then we've got these yes, you can see the problem. You don't need me to explain it to you. So anyway, I decided I would try and fix this. Now bear in mind I do have this new show, 60-minute map fix, so I'm not going to spend 60 minutes working on this. I thought it would be just a question of tweaking a node or two, but the more I did, the worse it got. And the worse it got, the more I did. And no, I'm sure I would be able to fix this if I was to rebuild it from scratch, but this was not playing games at all. I tried smoothing the slopes, bing, 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 and then I came down here and I got a little bit of a bend, and I got the object error as well, which I've not seen for a long time. And then it just like, now this is on a slope leaning to the right, or leaning to the left, sorry. And basically I decided, you know what? I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave it. It's not pretty, it's not clever. It is fixable, but not in a few moments. Then we've got the tunnel, which goes in at a sharp angle, going straight up there. And that emerges on the opposite side of the hill over here. I personally would have gone around the hill, I think. But yes, we've got just slopes and bumps everywhere with the rail. It's not a pretty rail. Saying all of that, having seen the rail as it is, elevated at ground level, we then have this little rail bridge. And while it's not my favourite rail bridge I've ever seen, in context with the rest of the rail, I think that is really very nice indeed. So credit for that one. Anyway, then we then head into a tunnel. Tunnel exits off in towards the fog over here, and we can make our way to the edge of the map, which means we can do an intermission and then come back for the shipping.
Are you worried that you aren't using all the best mods? And which ones best suit your needs anyway? Then you need the community voted top 10 mods of 2019. Click the information button now.
And so back to Athacana Hills by Hallegbg. Now, shipping routes. We got some angles going on, like a really sharp angle there. We could do with a curve in there. But then we've got some areas where we have got the triangle curves. Another right angle there. That's that shallow bridge we went through earlier. That looks a little bit sharp as well. And then zigzagging up this way. We've got a right angle turn there, but we've got one of those curved triangles going on there. I'm sure it's a proper better name for them, but yeah, we'll stick with that. Then we're going to zigzag up through this straight, and it's just not pretty. Another one of those curved triangles there. Then we've got a bridge which is too low, and a bridge which is possibly too high. Water flow in the start square is good, actually. The access is via the beach, and the water is being pushed in. It's edge of map water flow, but it's being pushed in and pushed around and then past the essential lighthouse over here. So I'm okay with the water flow. I think that works for most vanilla players. Excellent. Now, we've got a good build plane here. This is your start square. So there's plenty of space down here to build a decent sized town. Then you've got this area down here, which is just basically begging to be built into. Through another valley there, and then you've got another big buildable spot over here around the cloverleaf, which is quite nice also. And then you've got this area, not entirely flat, but it is a big buildable area also. So while it doesn't look like there's a big buildable spot, there's plenty of places you can actually get into. So for a hilly map, it's quite buildable. As I say, I do like the beaches on this particular map. I think it looks really very nice indeed. Now the question though is, what's going on with the main beach? There's a hell of a lot of rock going on this main beach. Now, I quite like it aesthetically, it just doesn't fit with the rest of the map. I would have just maybe done a small cluster of these for detailing. I'm not entirely sure about the park life tree trunk rock though. That for me, it just doesn't make any sense there at all. But, you know, it's detailing and many of you might like it. Many of you won't. The hills, yes, they are rugged and in need of a smoothing brush or a different theme. one or the other, or both, but left as they are at the moment, it just doesn't add to the aesthetics. Now, overall, I would say it's quite a realistic looking map, okay? Fairly realistic-ish. I quite believe in this. This lake here is really believable. The water running off the hills there to form that. Then you've got this river system here, which is just, well, bonkers. First of all, it's gouged. It's the most gouged river I've seen in a long while. Doesn't make any sense that this would have formed on its own. I've got a little lake going on there. Then it goes up into the hills where the water source is. Again, deeply gouged. When you get to the top, though, we've got, first of all, these two rocks here, which look like they were sort of like some sort of collapsed stone bridge. I can kind of buy into that. That's fine. And then if you have a look at the water carefully there, you can see that is the water spawn point. And it's going off in two directions. And the water is also going down and exiting off that way as well. Seems to be a higher water fill on this river. And yet, we've got a little bit of stop-start blobbiness going on. Let's speed the water up to see if we get a better view of that. So yes, I think we've got all sorts of problems with that river system. Doesn't make any sense. This like sort of does actually. Again, I can believe the water running off those hills filling that up. But I also feel that this would either be a higher fill level, or this forced dam to contain the lake would have some sort of like breach in it and would have some erosion going on down here. I'm kind of like feeling that it was like, I want to have a lake up there somehow, and then forcing it in rather than thinking how it would have possibly evolved up there. So anyways, I think that's about it. A fairly realistic looking map with a couple of bizarre water features. But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We'll use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? I think it won't make your top 10, but prove me wrong. I'm very happy to be wrong, but not all the time. Okay, aesthetically, it's a bit meh, I think. I think some areas about it, I do kind of like the overall design, sort of, but it's just either a bit vanilla or a bit rugged, or both. I'm going 3 stars. It's fine. It's fine. Detailing needs a bit of work. There are a few issues, and not least trees on the road. I can't go higher than 2 stars, but I think there's potential. Gameplay potential. It's definitely playable. Do I want to play it? Not particularly. Do I think there will be people out there who want to play it? Yes, there will be some. It's a little bit challenging because of the hill layout, but it is, it's not daunting. I think 3 stars is a solid score, and again, potential to push up a little bit higher there as well. So there you go, Athacana Hills by Hallegbg. That was better than I thought it might have been actually when I saw it at first glance, so all credit for producing something that's playable there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, for joining me for another map in the What's Map series. We've got a real treat tomorrow. A real treat tomorrow. Oh God, I'm so sorry in advance. I'm so sorry in advance. Join me for that one, and of course tonight the 60-minute map fix, where I'm going to try and fix a map. I've not even seen it yet. I'm going to record it now. Oh, I'm worried. I'm so worried. I'm so very worried. Help me.